This is Save Arunachal Save Indigenous once again. एक्चुअली ये जो आज का प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस है, हम लोग ये आर्टिकल 371H को लेकर और ये ILP का कुछ पुलिस लोग का कुछ माने कार्रवाई को लेकर, और ये जो अभी जो प्रपोज, एक तो हम लोग सुन रहे हैं मार्केट में कि एक मैरिज जो बिल अरुणाचल प्रदेश मैरिज एंड इनहेरिटेंस बिल असेंबली में मतलब प्लेस किया जा सकता है, हम लोग सुन रहे हैं। तो इस विषय 3 विषय में हम लोग आज थोड़ा डिस्कस करेगा। जैसे सबसे पहले तो इस बार पार्लियामेंट में भी हमारा राज्यसभा MP नावर रिया जी ने इस इशू को मुद्दा को उठाया। उसको हम लोग का तरफ से मतलब दिल से उसको थैंक्स स्टेट के लिए कुछ बात किया, लेकिन उसमें थोड़ा मतलब 6 शेड्यूल को ज़्यादा ध्यान दिया। हम लोग का ये है कि 6 शेड्यूल ज़्यादा ध्यान नहीं दे के आर्टिकल 371H को अमेंड करना है, वो हम लोग का एक तो डिमांड है। ठीक है, आगे मतलब और रिया सर जी को होप करता है आगे वो इशू को आगे और ले जाएगा। और दूसरा बात है कि हमारा जो मैरिज जो प्रपोजल जो अभी इनहेरिटेंस जो बिल जो लाने जा रहा है अरुणाचल प्रदेश में, इसको हम लोग अपोज है। इसलिए अपोज है क्योंकि हमारा ट्राइबल स्टेट में अभी तक कस्टमरी लॉ से चलता है, और कस्टमरी लॉ को हम ताकत बनाने के बजाय कोडिफिकेशन, कस्टमरी लॉ को हम कोडिफिकेशन करने के बजाय इसको ओवररूल करके असेंबली में बिल लाने जा रहा है। जो भी बिल, इस मैरिज बिल में क्या लेकुनास है, क्या अच्छा है क्या ख़राब, उसमें हम लोग डिटेल में नहीं जाएगा, लेकिन वही है कि जो सिस्टम जो गलत है, हमारा कस्टमरी लॉ चलता है, पहले उसको कोडिफिकेशन करने का बाद, कोडिफाई करने का बाद तब हर समाज का CBS को, गांव मुरास को, गांव मुरीस को बुला के हर सोसाइटी में चर्चा करने के बाद इसको असेंबली में लाना चाहिए, हम लोग का कहना है। तो इस विषय में हमारा एडवोकेट रमजुल रक्षक इस इशू का चेयरमैन है, वो पॉइंट्स जो आपको डिटेली जो टेक्निकल जो पॉइंट्स है डिटेली आपको कुछ समझाएगा।
As our chairman of our organization, Sasi, has said, so we have placed 3-point representation to the state, 3 specific points, and our demand. So I will start with the first point. So it might be a little bit lengthy, but we have to discuss this point because since this is a very burning issue which has to be discussed, and the people of Arunachal has to know, the youth, growing youths of Arunachal Pradesh has to know, and we want to penetrate in their minds. So therefore this has to be discussed. So we have given 3-point demand as he has said. So the first point, the demand that we have placed is, I would like to read out. So I would read out. Demand number 1 is for passing of a private member resolution at State Assembly for revamping / re-amending of Article 371H of the Indian Constitution granted to our state and to its people, and work to get it passed / amended in the Parliament, bringing it in par with Article 371A and G, that is of Nagaland and Mizoram. So why we have taken up this issue is that you might be aware that last few days our Nabam Ribia sir has raised this issue in the Rajya Sabha. He has raised the issue and he has taken up the place in the Rajya Sabha, but he was giving more emphasis on 6th schedule of the Constitution. So here I would like to clarify why we are specifically demanding for Article 371H amendment, because in the 6th schedule, what 6 schedules of India, Constitution of India says, this is the Constitution of India, and 6th schedule of the Constitution of India says that 6th schedule, if a state is enlisted under the 6th schedule, that certain state will be fragmented into different ADCs, that is autonomous district councils, like that of Meghalaya. Meghalaya is being divided into 3 different parts, 3 different autonomous districts. So the state has got direct protection through this article, through 6th schedule. But in the case like this article schedule, first of all, this article 6th schedule is specific to the tribal areas. So like in Assam, you have the protection of 6th schedule, but it is the powers are being given to like Karbi Anglong district, autonomous district. Then there is the mission is not yet granted. There are like that only. and also in Mizoram, like Chakma Autonomous District, then that is Meghalaya, Chakma Autonomous District, etc. So I will take the example of Assam. Assam is enlisted, the state Assam is enlisted under the 6th schedule, but then 6th schedule doesn't protect entire Assam. So 6th schedule protects only those pockets, selecting the pockets. So leave aside Assam. Assam is some part of Assam are in tribal area. That is why they are given 6th schedule protection. So take for example Mizoram. Mizoram is a full-fledged with a full ST dominated or inhabited state. But then Mizoram is enlisted under 6th schedule. But some section of the pocket, some pockets of the area like Chakma, and then there was Chakma Autonomous District and 2 others. They are only getting the benefit out of 6th schedule. So what I am trying to conclude here is that even though if our state gets enlisted under 6th schedule and we are given 6th schedule, then certain pockets, for instance, if say for example tomorrow the central minister in the parliament passed the law 6th schedule and then our state is granted, there will be chaos because we have 26 major tribes. 26 major tribes and hundreds of sub-tribes. So how are we going to distribute them into ADCs? How are we going to give? There is no means. So as per our organization is concerned, we feel that there will be chaos. So therefore, instead of focusing on 6th schedule, the more focus should be given on Article 371. And here, as per reliable sources, the then Chief Minister of our former Chief Minister Nabuntuki sir has taken up this issue, and it was brought in the Parliament through a private, through state legislative assembly, and then through private regulation, it was moved and passed and then sent to Law Ministry at the center. But it is still in abeyance. There is no information about, there is no whisper what it has happened or not till today. So in this regard, we're placing this strong point in front of for the people. We are not raising this issue because we feel that it has to be done. Yes, of course, we feel that we need protection, but there has been lots of appeal from the people entrusting our organization. They say, we believe in your organization, therefore you have to raise this issue. That's why we are coming all of a sudden, 6th schedule, along with 371G, same tribal state. Meghalaya, you have given 6th schedule, same tribal state. In Assam, you have given 6th schedule in the tribal areas. Tripura, you have given. Then why you haven't given even a single laws to protect our state? We are surviving under the mercy of the Britishers who has left us some regulation, which we don't call it law also. Like Bengal Eastern Frontier Act, Chin Hill Regulation Act, those are regulation. Therefore, what we feel is that we don't have a protection of land. We don't have power to make customary law. So therefore, our future is in dark. Therefore, at any cost, at anyhow, since our state is run by BJP-led government, and luckily we have one Western Parliamentary MP, Sri Kiran Rijiju ji, who is a law minister now, who is in a good position to hear the cry of our people, the border of his constituency or his state. He should look into this matter. And then we have Tapurgao, who is BJP, former BJP president and former national general secretary also. And then in Rajya Sabha, again, we have Nabum Rebia sir, who is sent from BJP. So therefore, this is the right time. What we feel, this is the right time that we should hammer the iron when it is hot. Therefore, we think and we believe that under the leadership of Pema Khandu and after assuming the charge of law ministry, Shriman Kiran Rijiju, they will look into this issue. And I would like to say, I quote here, that they have to look into this matter because this cannot be kept in abeyance. And one thing I want to clear here is that after the abrogation of Article 370, there was a meeting here in Dorji Kandu Convention Hall, and where our Chief Ministership was seen making some statement saying that Article 371 protects entire Northeast. But to be precise and to be clear, that I feel that being a citizen, I feel that that was a misleading statement. Our elected representatives should tell what actually 371H is to the people, because they are sent there to aware us. Therefore, such misleading statement also should not be said. Okay, that is all with Article 371H. Our clear-cut demand is that government of Arunachal Pradesh with the elected representative of 3 elected representatives MPs, वो लोग मिलके ये जो हमारा मांग है 371 को जल्द से जल्द हमारा इस जो मांग है उसको पूरा करना चाहिए। और हम ये मांग में साथ ही हम ये मांग आज उठाया है, हम लोग इसको लेके आगे जाते रहेंगे। इसलिए मैं दरख्वास्त करना चाहूँगा कि हमारा यहाँ का जितना भी युवा संगठन है, जितना भी यूथ स्कूल स्टूडेंट्स है, और यहाँ में जितना गांव बुरा बुरीस, सभी को हम आप लोग का सहयोग चाहेंगे। जब जब हम ये आवाज़ के लिए कुछ प्रदर्शन करेंगे, आप सब हमें साथ देना चाहिए, बिकॉज वी आर नॉट फाइटिंग फॉर आवरसेल्फ बट फॉर एवरी वन ऑफ यू। So this is in regard to Article 371H. And the next is, we demand for adding of a clause into Arunachal Pradesh Police Act or passing a separate act, regulation or an order for immediate suspension of a police personnel, paramilitary force who engage in inner line permit checking under the Bengal Eastern Frontier Act 1873 are found taking bribe for letting non-FPST or outsider enter our restricted state by taking bribe or through any unfair means, thereby inviting lots of untoward incidents in the state and also rendering ILP provisions useless. So therefore, our second demand is to the Home Minister and to the State Chief Secretary and to the Chief Minister. We demand that in the checkpoints where the police or the paramilitary forces are stationed to check the inner line ILP provisions, they used to take bribe. 100-200 रुपया के लिए, 500 रुपया के लिए वो पैसा लेके वहाँ से लोगों को घुसने देता है। तो घुस के, और हम ये समझता है कि वहाँ से घुसने वाला जो 500 रुपया 100 रुपया दे के जो घुसने का कोशिश करता है, वो किस तरह का लोग होगा। एक कंसर्न सिटीजन और अच्छा एक नागरिक होता तो वो उस तरह का हरकत जरूर नहीं करेगा, क्योंकि जबकि ILP ऑब्टेन करने में इतना ईजी है। इसीलिए हम ये मांग करता है कि जो ILP बिना ILP का होते हुए यहाँ आ जाता है, उनके कारण यहाँ में बहुत क्राइम ऐसा होता है। गाड़ी चोर, आप पुलिस थाना में जाके पूछिए, आप लोग जाके पूछिए कि गाड़ी चोर में अगर बाहर से पकड़ा गया तो whether they were having a valid ILP or not, most of them will be means without ILP नहीं हो क्या था, क्योंकि वो यहाँ काम करने या अपना जो प्रोफेशन को करने नहीं आता है, वो आता है with a intention to do some kind of criminal activities here. Therefore, just for the mere sake of 500 rupees, the life of our state should not be in stake. इसीलिए हम डिमांड करता है कि सरकार को जल्द से जल्द ऐसा एक नियम लाएं कि जो पुलिस प्रशासन वहाँ पे तैनात रहता है, अगर उनकी ड्यूटी के दौरान किसी को बिना ILP का अगर घुसने देता है या पैसा लेके या अनफेयर मीन्स से अगर घुसने देता है, उसे तुरंत टर्मिनेट करने का एक प्रावधान होना चाहिए। यह हम मांग करता है स्टेट गवर्नमेंट से। हमारा डिमांड नंबर 3 ये है, सस्पेंशन ऑब्लिक halting of tabling ऑब्लिक passing of proposed bill on Arunachal Pradesh Marriage and Inheritance Bill 2021 at State Assembly. So you must be aware, and we have come through some sources, and it is a reliable sources, I will say, that state government is going to bring Arunachal Pradesh Marriage and Inheritance Bill, so which we consider it to be very much detrimental to our society, that is tribal society. So in this regard, I would like to point out few lacunas and the loopholes in regards to this bill. First of all, I would say that this bill, which will be brought in the assembly very soon to make it as an act or as a law, it embraces. There is contradiction. There is contradiction in the with this law and Assam Frontier Administration of Justice Regulation 1945. There is contradiction. This Assam Frontier Regulation Act, which gives judicial sanction of laws that are being practiced by different CBOs, different communities of Arunachal Pradesh, where village authority with legal sanction are being appointed by the deputy commissioners. They are called Gao Buras. The law sanctions Gao Buras. This is Bogumboka law, sanctioned under this Assam Frontier Act 1945. This is Bogumboka law, legally sanctioned, and it is still being practiced. And this is a legal law. And this is of Adivane Kebang. This is of Galo community. Today I am just taking the example of two specific. This is Bogumboka, and this is also Bogumboka of Adivane Kebang, wherein surprisingly the loopholes is that in this Assam Frontier Regulation Act, it gives powers to the village authority to proceed with the criminal proceedings, with the civil proceeding. Civil proceedings, within civil proceeding, it includes marriage and inheritance bill. Everything are included under the civil proceedings. Therefore, there is no requirement at all for making another contradictory law. That too, without any consultation to the CBOs, without any consultation to anyone. So therefore, this is in contradiction. And within this, there are clauses like subsection 40, section 40 of the Assam Frontier Regulation Act 1945, powers of the authorities given to the village authority. Every one of you can read it. So if I try to read it, it will take too long. Therefore, it says that woman who is an APST, if she marries to a non-APST, she can own immovable property, which we clearly thinks that this is a indirect gifting of PRC. This is very much detrimental to our society. And brothers from another state also should not question this. Why we are raising this? Because in a country of 1.6 billion people, we are only 9 lakhs in population. If such practice or if such rights are given to, for example, I will give my sister I will give him 100 acres of land, and then she will construct as much houses she wants there, and then obtaining ILP, she will set up houses there and let all his relatives stay there. Our village, my village, consists of only 300 people. So if such people from outside, where the population is exploding day by day, if they come and settle here through that immovable property which has been obtained legally, then there will be demography change of our people. Demography of people will change, and the social practice will change. Thereby we will be endangered, we will be trampled. Therefore, this is very, very arbitrary, and this has to be considered. So we are here, we are not against any woman. See, we are not against any woman. Our sisters also need to understand our feelings. Or in the northeastern part or in the south, everyone is a practical society, and every religion has its own laws. We don't have proper religion, therefore we have a small customary law that too not protected by the provision, but we are happy with this law. Therefore, state government should not bring up this contradictory, hurting our sentiment. So this is totally in contradiction with everyone. Therefore, that's all what we have to say. आज ये representation.
वो आपने नहीं बताया इसलिए हमको.
Yes. We have submitted representation today to Chief Minister. The copy will be provided to you, duly signed, and then we have tried to meet them in person also. And then most probably, if they are willing, we will be meeting them very soon.
तो दूसरा है कि 6 शेड्यूल अगर हमको देता है, आर्टिकल 371H को मॉडिफाई नहीं करके डायरेक्टली अगर 6 शेड्यूल को देता है, तो कल को 26 ट्राइब जो अपना अपना ऑटोनॉमस मांगेगा तो अरुणाचल कैसे होगा, मतलब उस समय का अरुणाचल का नक्शा बहुत अलग होगा। इसीलिए 6 शेड्यूल को हम जोर नहीं देके आर्टिकल 37H को गवर्नर का पावर को हटाना है और जो नागालैंड और मिजोरम को जो पावर मिला वो मिलना है कि गवर्नर का पावर इंडिया में जैसा ऐसा होना है, हम लोग को एक्स्ट्रा दिया है, वो चीज़ को हटा देना है एक्स्ट्रा।
So what we say is that call up all the CBOs, all the tribe-based organization who are making such laws for themselves, and then discuss how we are going to give rights to, and there invite the women activists, women welfare society, and then discuss with them. Then after threadbare discussion, come to a conclusion, and then accordingly both the right, our interests will also not conflict, and the person who are trying to bring up this also, their interest will also be not. And one thing here I want to clarify is that they say non-APST who are from outsider, but there is no definition. It might be a Tibetan, it might be a foreigner,
Bangladeshi.
it might be a Bangladeshi. There is no say about that. Like in the Indian constitution, if we call that the people, we the people of India, then there is a clause given, explanation is given. We the people means people who comes to India, who lives before the independence, such and such. There has to be exact definition. It only says that non-APST. Who are non-APST? Should we give, should we give our land and to our sister? And if she marries a Bangladeshi, who is day by day growing up in the Northeast and making up a chaos, should we let him enjoy our right? Shall we? For example. That's all. Thank you.